Hi, Diane here. In this video I'm going to be using the cat stamp. This is Puddy Cat with these great big cats on. You can see here I have two of the large ones, I have two of the small and a couple of the sayings, and this is so true. If cats had phones they wouldn't call you back. So I'm going to be using that, and I'm going to be showing you how to make a noddy head. People ask me about that all the time. People write to me and they say, how do I make that cat with a noddy head? It's so hard to write down. So I'm going to make a video and then I'll just say go look at that video and you'll see. And I'm also going to use heads and tails. This was a stamp that came out in January, and I'm going to put some of these on as well. Okay, so to start with, I'm going to take one of the cat stamps, the large. You might be thinking, oh, I've seen smaller ones. I do have another set that's got these smaller and these smaller as well, but this was the original Puddy Cat. So I'm going to use this one. And to make the cat with the noddy head, you have to stamp this twice. As usual, I stamp nearly everything on my mixed media cardstock. These do look lovely actually on craft as well. So on craft you don't really have to colour them in. But I usually use the mixed media cardstock, so I'm going to stamp him once and I'm going to ink him up and stamp him again. Now normally if I was at home I would just go to the cupboard and I would just get out some of these that were ready stamped, but because we're doing it in the studio I'm going to stamp them together to show you. So I'll stamp those down. We've got two of those. Just going to pop this away. We're not going to use both of them. What we're actually going to do is, on one of them, we need to cut out the body and we need to draw. I'm just going to colour this in so you can see it better. But what I've actually done is, I've drawn from the neck up to the eyes, where the eyes are, and back down. So this area, just going to draw in that area. You don't need to colour it like this, it's just so you can see it more. So on one cat we're going to use the body with the tab, and then on the other one we're going to use the head. Okay, so I'm just going to show you. I've cut some of these out already so you don't have to spend ages looking. So I usually take it like that, it's easier. So I'm going to cut the cat out. When I'm cutting out, if you can see, I always leave a little gap round the edge. It's much easier to cut. You might also notice as well, I love Tim's scissors, I think they're the best scissors, but if you notice when I'm cutting out, this hand with the scissors doesn't move, this hand with the card in does all the moving, this hand just opens and cuts the scissors. It's just so much easier to do. If you can get into the habit of cutting out like that, it's really easy. So if you can see, this is cutting and I'm just turning it round as I'm going round the tail. You might notice as well that I haven't cut in here yet and I haven't cut here. I do all the easy bits first. So I'm just going to get down to the bottom. You don't have to be really neat. People worry about things like that. It doesn't matter. Oops. I'm just going to cut the little bit there in between the tail. And then for this bit here, I'm just going to go turn it round and go in the opposite way. It's just a little bit more tricky to go around the tail there. There we go. Okay, so you can see now I've taken it off the card. Remember, it looked like this. I drew round here and then I just cut out that tab. It's really important that you have a tab on there. And then on this one you're going to cut out just the head. So this is left over, but you're going to cut out just the head. I've already cut it out here for you. Now it's optional. Can you see here where I've cut round the whiskers? So I go around and cut them round, but then it doesn't really matter. So now after I've painstakingly cut them round, I'm going to cut them off to show you. It doesn't matter whether, some people are like, oh, I couldn't cut whiskers out. So you could either have cut them out like I did, or you can just cut them off and it will still look nice. You see, you can still tell it's a cat, it's still got whiskers in there, it's absolutely fine. So the next bit, sorry I'm playing with my hair, it's a bit warm in here. I'm having a tropical moment as usual. So the next bit is, to make this, I want to make a hole in the nose. I just take the edge of Tim's scissors and I'm just careful, making thing through the nose. And again, you can still see, I've coloured this, but you wouldn't have, you can still see. So I'm going to make a little hole in the nose there. There we go. Just make a hole through. If you've got a pokey tool or a brad, that will be better for you, but I've made a hole. Then I'm going to take a brad These are Tim's, these are metallic ones. You could put bright ones on, you could use any of them. But first of all, I'm going to take it through the nose in the head. Then I'm going to pop it through the nose underneath. And then I'm just going to pull the brad back. Now, the first time I saw this, I was at a store, and I can't remember the store, but I remember the lady's name. She was called Elizabeth. So if you're watching, Elizabeth, hi. And I was at a store, and this lady came up to me and said, look what I've done with your cats. And she did this there. And so every time I do it, I say it's from Elizabeth. But now look, the head moves. The head just whizzes around like that. Because of this tab, the head moves separately. So if you were then going to stick it in a page, you would put some double-sided tape or some glue down here. So this would stay firm and this head would still move. It's really cool. And then you could also, if you wanted, you could put some wings on. I seem to have, oh, look at that. Oh no, there we go. I thought I had 3 right wings. But you could stick some wings on like that. Elizabeth had them where she had a little hole in the top here, and she hung, she had ribbon through so she could hang them, and they were really sweet. So you can see it's just hard to explain, but really easy to do. So that's how you make the cat. Now, you're then left with the body of the one where you cut the head off. Okay, so when you take it, you've got another body. So what I like to do is I like to pick up some of the heads from here. So I'll just show you. No, I don't think I've got them all cut out, but look. You see how if you just pop the rabbit's head on, it looks fabulous. This is my favourite, to pop the fox's head on. Now this won't spin. The rabbit would probably spin, but we've cut the neck off. So there's no tab. There's no tab to hold this. So these would just be flat. These would just be flat in your book, but look how cool they are. So there's no waste. Even though you've cut the head off there, you're still using these bits. So have a plate. The owl is funny as well, and I did the owl and the pussycat. So I put the owl's head on one of the smaller ones here, and then I had the cat as normal next to it, and we just had the owl and the pussycat on a page. So play around. Let's see what you do. Post on Facebook, post on the Stampers Anonymous page, and let's see what you come up with. Easy when you know how, isn't it?